Hello everyone. My name is Seamus. This cardboard robot and I are going to be acting out a scene for you, based on a recent exchange between myself and some guy called Doug Wilkie on Ron Paul's Facebook page. I hope you enjoy.
Ron Paul, why do you ignore our military's advice and vote to repeal Don't Ask, Don't Tell? Gay normalcy in our military is anything but normal.
Hey Doug, I think I can help answer this for you. The following is a quote from Ron Paul. I have received several calls and visits from constituents who, in spite of the heavy investment in their training, have been forced out of military simply because they were discovered to be homosexual. To me, this seems like an awful waste. Personal behavior that is disruptive should be subject to military discipline regardless of whether the individual is heterosexual or homosexual. But to discharge an otherwise well-trained professional and highly skilled member of the military for these reasons is unfortunate and makes no financial sense. I would add to this my own answer. I of course do not speak for Dr. Paul. We need to stop looking at our citizens as homosexual or heterosexual and look at them as what they are, human persons who deserve dignity and respect. You may think, as do I, that committing sexual acts with a person of the same gender is a sin. But shunning these people from society and service of their country is not the answer to their problems, and it is not the role of the government. The government exists to protect the lives and rights of the people, not to enforce morality. As Dr. Paul said, deal with behavioral problems accordingly. If an inappropriate relationship arises that compromises a soldier's duties, deal with it according to the military's rules on inappropriate relationships. Your gender-based attraction is not the jurisdiction of the government, and a same-gender attraction may be a temptation to sin, but it does not preclude one from serving as a professional in the military or any other field. And if proclivity towards sin negates someone from serving in the military, then God help us. We'll have no one to serve. Show me a man who is not inclined towards wrath, greed, sloth, pride, lust, envy, and gluttony, and you will indeed show me a Superman, in which case he can just fight all the battles for us.
Thanks for your comment. However, we can already cry, God help us, because those like Ron Paul refuse to listen to our military high command. They, after decades of war college experience and leadership, know it works. Gay marriage is still overwhelmingly voted against being normal. So shall it remain abnormal until we're willing to see burning sulfur fall from the skies? Don't Ask, Don't Tell is good enough for all concerned and should stay. Sadly, the queer agenda is militant and greedy and will never find normalcy in a world they frantically and desperately try to create.
My argument, nor Ron Paul's, was never that same-sex attraction was normal, and therefore Don't Ask, Don't Tell should be repealed. I even agreed with you and said that participating in same-sex sexual stimulation is sinful. My point, however, is that people who have such tendencies are still human beings that deserve dignity and respect and ought to be treated that way. When you denigrate their value and call them queers, as opposed to persons whom you perceive to have an affliction, you don't do anything to help their or society's situations. The military does not need to be full of perfect saints. Should everyone be a saint? Yes. Is that the military's job to ensure? No. The military allows plenty of people who have done plenty of wrong in their personal lives. What about men who sleep around with women, sinning and trashing the value of women, marriage, and the family? Do you advocate their removal from the military? How many partners outside of marriage would be allowable in such a system? 0, 3, 10? I also believe that you are incorrect about military high command saying that it should not be repealed. Do you have any sources for that? Here is an article that shows most members of the military do not oppose the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell. Here I link to an NY Daily News article. Note that 92% that feel they served with a serviceman with same-sex attraction felt a positive or neutral result. What is your fear of allowing their open service? What do you think the negative results would be?
Sorry, Seamus, your debate is one-sided and not entirely factual. The repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell is already drawing down the military by new reports coming in of early retirements, resignations of officers refusing to indoctrinate new regulations, and decrease in new enlistments. We can thank Obama and Ron Paul for reinstating the Selective Service System, aka the draft. You are sadly uninformed. Over 70% of our military high command, Pentagon, are against repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell, which has been defined as gay normalization, forced on our high brass and servicemen. I strongly disagree with any elected politician who thumbs their noses at our military council. Not wise, and sends the message to our enemies how weak and stupid we are.
What source do you have for that? Did you review the link I sent you? Does the military's ideas on matters supersede citizens' rights? If the military high command said we should do away with the Second Amendment to make the U.S. safer, would you agree? Are you even listening to me?
Military justice is not under the same citizens' rights that you are looking for. I suggest you study the facts instead of believing what your feelings dictate.
The conversation went on a little further, but I'll let you guess if anything productive came out of it.